Are we going to finish this then? Because you've booted Simon and I don't want to talk to you without a moderator.
Yeah, no problem. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And even though I don't agree with your stance and obviously you don't agree with mine, debate's important. Do you know what I mean? And there's certainly no hatred from my side towards you or anything. It's just a difference of ideas. I tell you who's wrong to be in this country. You're a danger to this country and this society. And that's why I say that you're dangerous. You are dangerous to the people of Britain. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live broadcast. Live broadcast, the first ever.
British.
Let me introduce from Patriotic Alternative, Laura Towler. My position with BRLM, that we have a problem. Everybody knows we have a problem with illegal immigration. Now, where I have a problem with the stance of Laura and Patriotic Alternative is they're not just interested in illegal immigration. They're interested in immigration as a total. And not just immigration as in new immigrants that are coming in. People that are in this country that have immigrated maybe this generation or second generation or third generation.
Yes.
Yes, we have a problem with immigration, but definitely we don't have a problem with immigrants. So how do they clarify Indigenous people? They do it by skin colour.
Well, first of all, not all white people are British. So there are people who exist, such as the Polish, the Spanish, the Italians, the Swedish, etc. We want a Britain that is British, not just a Britain that is white.
So what about two young British children, let's say 16-year-olds, two 16-year-olds, their parents have came here from Africa, they were born and raised here, they only know Britain, they don't know anything about Africa, they don't know anything about the language. Are them two people I've just talked about, the two kids that were born and raised here with parents who came from Africa, are they British?
No, they're African.
How are they African?
What do you mean, how are they African? If I was born in China, would I be Chinese?
Yeah, but I told you they're born in Britain.
Yeah, but I'm saying if I was born in China, would I be Chinese?
But what's that got to do with these two kids that are born
because
in Britain?
These are Africans who were born in Britain, and you're saying that they're British because their mum gave birth to them here.
Okay, so they're African.
They're African. They're British citizens, they've got British passports, but they're not British. If anyone can be British, then being British means absolutely nothing. If all it takes is a piece of paper from the government, then it's a worthless identity, isn't it? I identify as Chinese now, so I want to be called Chinese because you just have to say that you identify it and that makes it true, apparently.
Then go back to China.
Go back to China, bitch.
In fact, I would say that Black Lives Matter and the extremists on the Black Lives Matter side, such as the FF Force.
Oh yeah, what a classic. Can we get a big round of applause for the comedian in chat? Can we get a little Animal Crossing clap, a little golf clap for the resident expert in comedy here?
What Rikki's trying to do is bring up the Holocaust, which is, the scariest event from history, to shut down the debate, but he doesn't care about the
Holocaust, the Nazis. Adolf Hitler, Nazi Germany in 1930, anti-Semitic, do the Sieg Heil, Nazi, Adolf Hitler, Nazism,
well.
The Jews, Nazis,
so
the Nazis murdered 8 million Jews. 8 million Jews dead.
Billions and 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 billions.
I mean, you can't even admit that the British are an ethnic group.
How do you establish who's not British?
What do you mean? So now you're pretending that the British don't exist?
So that means everybody is not really, truly British, right? If you're Northwestern European, it could be.
So now
it could be Holland.
Just for the audience to listen to this, we're now doing that the British people don't exist argument. You have the same arguments as people like Hope Not Hate. You're saying that British people don't exist.
British people are black.
Man. And Rikki said, as long as they think they're British or they're happy to.
Said that.
Hang on.
You said
right.
you were neutral.
I am neutral, but what you said, as long as they're happy to be British and they're British, you don't matter what colour they are. And what you're saying here is you stand for anybody who perceives or thinks or feels or are, as the legal said, are British. Is that correct?
No, I didn't say that. What it means to be British is if you're born here, but not only if you're born here, if you live here, If you respect this country, if you've moved to this country, if you've committed to this country,
okay, so
and you have been given British citizenship, you have every single right, just as much as you, to claim that you are British.
So Salman Abedi, who murdered 22 people in the Manchester Arena bombing, he was born in Manchester and he lived here all his life. Is he British?
He was British. No matter how much that Manchester bomber hated this country, no matter how much Shamima Begum hated this country, they were born and raised here. They were given British. They were British citizens. They are British, unless they say otherwise. If they were born here and they have British passports, of course they're British.
You think that being British is just having a piece of paper from the government? It's so much more than that. We're a distinct group of people.
Well, who are the?
Hang on, one at a time.
Who are the indigenous people? Are they the white people?
The British, yeah.
British
do you
people
stand
are
for
white. Black people?
Yeah.
Do you stand for black people? Do you stand for black people? Do you stand for Asian people in this country?
What do you mean? Do I stand for them?
Like, do you stand for them?
So can I just confirm, you do not care if the ethnic British become a minority in Britain? Is that right?
I don't think I said that. You've been disingenuous.
No, well, I'm asking you, can you confirm, if British people, native British people, became 50% of the population or less in Britain, would you care about that or would you not care?
Let me address that. Let me address that, all right? Because according to you, your manifesto and your rhetoric, 2060 is around the period when you say that the British
Not me, Professor David Coleman from the University of Oxford.
All right, so Professor David Coleman said it, right? Let me just tell you something about that first. That is an estimation.
It's based on current trends.
Fact. You presented it like it's a fact.
It's a fact. It's based on current trends.
It's an estimation. It's an estimation.
It's a prediction. I'll tell you why it's an estimation.
Because it hasn't come to pass, and it's more than likely not going to come to pass.
It is.
If we do something about it now, and what we have to do is stop illegal immigration. We have to encourage birth rates to go up. For thousands of years, the Persian people have not stopped being the majority in Iran. So for you to predict that in 2060 we'll
Rikki.
be white British will be a minority.
Rikki, you got to listen to this, right? What you've just said is that his estimations were wrong, but you said that.
No. I said they're an estimation, right?
Right. Okay.
That's a fact.
His estimations would be correct if things
How
continue.
would they be correct?
Hang on, you've just said if we change them, they won't be correct. All right. You said if we change them, they won't be correct, and you're correct in saying that if we change them. But if things stay the same, then they will be correct.
Well, listen, she threw a hypothesis. Okay. She threw a hypothesis out, and I threw one back.
No, it's a prediction based on current trends.
All right. I also throw out a prediction.
Okay. Well, let's just for a moment forget whether it will or will not happen. If it did happen, would you think that was a bad thing or a good thing? The British becoming a minority in Britain.
I think that if it happens, it happens.
Can you answer the question, Rikki? If the British became a minority in Britain, I've asked you 4 times now.
I already answered the question. I already answered the question. I don't believe, and I know that British is not just white people. All right, we're a country with people with many different skin colours that have came from many different lineages. And I tell you what, some of them are way more British than you.
There are different levels to being British. You're either British or you're not. So the audience want to know if you think the British becoming a minority in Britain is a good thing or not. You don't seem to want to answer.
I've already answered the question, but you want to keep
asking
you have some great point that you're trying to.
Why won't you answer the question?
Let me tell you something. I am passionate about this nation, and I want the best for this nation. And I know many people with black skin, with different shades of skin that want the same type of prosperity and good future for their children and even their children's children in this country.
Okay,
that makes them that makes them just as much patriotic as you or me.
This was the last conversation. I'm now asking you about the actual, the English, the Scottish, the Welsh, etc., the native British. If they became a minority in Britain, despite whether you believe it's going to happen or not, would you think that was a good thing or a bad thing?
But I've just told you they can't become a minority.
No, I'm asking.
How can they become a minority?
Simon, do you understand the question? I'm saying if it happens, if we become less than 50.
I said that the British people won't become a minority because the British people are made up of people of all colours, backgrounds, religions. So how can they become a minority? It's impossible. I'm asking you about about white people.
I'm asking you about the native British. People who are ethnically British. People. Yeah, ethnically British.
Guess what? Britain is not just white anymore.
I feel like you want to hide this from your supporters because you don't want to admit that you don't
care. I'm not hiding anything.
So answer the question then.
But no,
Answer the
place
question.
where you're. I've told you the answer.
No, you haven't. I'm talking about the
answer.
ethnically British. Would you care about
what your classification of ethnically British is not British to me? British is many different skin colours, many different backgrounds.
So you don't even recognise that there is an ethnic group of British people?
You're talking. No,
is that where we are now?
About skin colour.
I'm talking about ethnicity.
You can wrap it up. You can wrap it up in ethnicity and indigenous as much as you want.
Do you not admit that the British are an ethnic group? I know you think everyone's British, but do you think that you can be ethnically British?
I just think the people of Britain are British.
Do you not agree that there is an ethnicity called British as well? So when I took my DNA test, it said that I was British. Can you admit that that's a thing?
Your DNA test said what?
That I was British. Can you admit that that's a thing?
How far did your DNA test go?
Why can you not answer the question?
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Why can you not answer the question? So you won't answer. You won't answer about the British becoming a minority in Britain, and you won't even admit that the ethnically British exist. And they've heard you say that British people don't exist. That it doesn't matter if they become a minority in their own country. And they've heard you call me a Nazi.
Indigenous white British
twat.